Now, Alan Bates is making headlines this morning after giving evidence at the post office inquiry. 14 million of us watched Mr Bates versus the post office, inspired by his campaign for justice for sub-postmasters. And yesterday felt like the start of Series 2.
Finally, we'll get to know everything the post office knows. The truth. The whole truth.
They're an atrocious organisation. They need disbanding, it needs removing, it needs building up again from the ground floor. The whole of the postal service nowadays, it's a dead duck.
And joining us now is former sub-postmistress Jo Hamilton and the writer of the ITV drama, Gwyneth Hughes. Thank you so much for you both to be here today. I know you're heading straight off to the inquiry off the back of this, Jo. Yeah. It's obviously taken over your life for so many years, and now you, of course, Gwyn, you're there backing and supporting everybody. Alan was extraordinary yesterday. You were both there. How did you feel the inquiry played out yesterday?
Well, Alan blossomed yesterday. I felt he got to say all the stuff because he was in court, and you're obviously constrained by the court. But yesterday he got a chance to actually come out of himself because it wasn't the courtroom. Like the last time he spoke, it was in the High Court. But yesterday was fabulous, and there was Alan's lovely sense of humour and everything else in it.
He kept trying to take over, didn't he?
Yeah.
He kept saying to the Casey, no, don't ask me that, ask me about this instead.
Well, isn't that just a real insight into his personality and his dogged perseverance, which really has enabled you all to come together and to get to this point? And he was such a central character, obviously, of the drama, Gwyn, and such an interesting person because he just won't take no for an answer. And he, again, was just exactly like that yesterday in the inquiry, whilst under pressure.
Yeah, you just knock him down, he bounces back. I mean, and it's hard to spot when you're seeing him being interviewed about, really serious stuff. But he's the funniest man alive. He's got a bone-dry sense of humour. Yeah. And he's just really determined, and he just won't take it. You know, I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah. We'll stand up to them for as long as it takes. And it's taken, well, best part of a quarter of a century, and he's not stopping.
Well, he certainly didn't hold back any punches at all yesterday. We saw a little bit just there. I mean, he said the post office has been an atrocious organisation. It is beyond saving at this point. It did make me rather chuckle when he spoke of Nick Reid, the current CEO of the post office, when he said he should have brought his chequebook yesterday and just sorted it out there and then. Yeah. And there's a truth in that because, like you say, it's gone on too long, Jo. Yeah. How much longer are you expected to wait?
I know. That is the travesty of all of it. You know, like it took me 3 years to put my claim in and actually get the last of the money. And if everyone's got to wait 3 more years or 2 more years, it's just nonsense. They should apply a bit of common sense, be able to sit down around a table and just pay everybody. You know, provided their claim's not ridiculous, just pay people. You know, it's quite simple. They don't have to do... I mean, they commission forensic accountants, forensic this, forensic that, and all this money is wasted, and time, because documents, you know, it goes off to someone, and months later it comes back. It's just not right. The GLO group, the group that actually have been fighting since 2009 when we first formed, they just need their money so that they can get on with their life. It's really not difficult.
No, exactly. Well, Paula Venables, the former CEO of the Post Office, will be appearing in the inquiry next month. What do you want to hear from her?
I just want her to tell the truth. You know, you don't want her to say, I can't remember and I can't recall. I would love to see her actually just tell the truth, because I watched her, I sat behind her at the select committee in 2015, and it was clear she was being very economical with the truth. That's all we want. We want truth, and then if people have committed criminal offences, then the inquiry, I'm sure, will refer everything on to the police, and they'll do they'll go through the legal process like we did.
Of course. I'm sure, Jo, you and like all of the postmasters and mistresses are incredibly grateful to Gwyn and your team for shining the light that was needed, because this drama, Gwyn, has been extraordinary. I'm sure you were fully aware it was an important piece to write, but you would never have anticipated the effect that it's had. I mean, 20% of the population here are watching it, continue to watch, and all over the world.
Yeah, amazingly, it's being sold all over the world, which we're just astonished by, because it's really domestic, it's really British. We are really British people, and the sense of humour is British, and the post office. You know, what's the post office? How is anybody to understand that? You know, in New Zealand, but they do, and getting the most fantastic reaction worldwide. And I think just everybody in our societies all over the world, we've all had that experience of being on the phone to a so-called helpline and getting nowhere, and watching that happen to Joe in that spectacularly appalling way. You know, even though it was so much worse than anything that's ever happened to us, I think everybody still felt, yeah, oh my God, that could be me. And it had the most extraordinary ability to get into people's hearts, which utterly surprised us.
It
you know.
resonates with all of us on some level, doesn't it? I mean, watching it yesterday and watching Alan in the inquiry and the support that he had, and this whole other chapter that has now happened for all of you, it does feel like series 2, Gwyn. I'm not entirely sure if that's even something that you want to contemplate, because it's, again, such an important thing. But it does, it has taken on a different road again.
Yeah, there won't be series 2. It took us 3 years.
It's like confirmation.
No, it took us 3 years to get it to because it's really difficult. I mean, one of the reasons why it didn't fly before is that it's just really hard to understand. It's full of computers and yawn and accountancy, oh God. And, you know, behind all that were these amazing people, extraordinary people.
It's the human stories.
Only like a drama could really dig them up. That's a terrible way to put it. But, you know, and so we haven't got another 3 years. Nobody's going to want to know by then, and they'll all be over. Surely to God, in 3 years, you'll have your truth, you'll have your money. I mean, if not, what have we all been doing?
Well,
really?
Absolutely. Surely it has to happen. And Alan was asked this yesterday, Joe, about the possibility of criminal prosecutions. Do you think we will see, Sam?
Yes, I'm sure we will. I'm sure the inquiry will get to... Because, again, yesterday, so when they discussed that disclosure wasn't happening as fast as it should, and they were even disclosing documents that are to be used last week. Well, then the legal teams have then got to pour through them, and I think there was 70,000 was one of the figures quoted. You know, I mean, this is typical post office. They never disclose anything, and that's what we've always been up against. But yeah, the stuff that's coming out is, we had a touch of it yesterday, is pretty damning. And, you know, I really do have faith in the inquiry to hand the documents over and let due process take its course.
Yeah, of course. Well, we have several rights of reply. I mean, the Post Office spokesperson has said they were deeply sorry for the pain suffered, and they are working with the inquiry. In a statement, Paul Venables has said, "I'm truly sorry for the devastation caused to the sub-postmasters and their families," and said she will focus on assisting the inquiry now. And like we say, she will be there next month, and all ears and eyes will be on her in that moment, I'm sure. Thank you so much, and best of luck today. Joe, we'll let you get back to the inquiry. Gwyn, what a pleasure it is. What a pleasure it is to meet you as well, Gwyn. What a remarkable impact you have had with your writing. Thank you very much indeed, ladies. You, of course, can watch and join 14 million others who have watched Mr. Bates versus the Post Office on ITVX.